My ex professed his love for me, but I can't overcome the fact that he cheated on me 6 years ago. All of this happened 3 weeks ago and I don't know what to do. I, 29F, have a 7-year-old daughter with my ex, 32M. We were together for 4 years and the pregnancy was unplanned, but he was super happy and supportive. He cheated on me when our daughter was 15 months old on a boys' night out. He told me that the next morning immediately and I left him that same day. He kept on telling me that it was a mistake, that he feels horrible, etc. I temporarily moved in with my mother. In that time my father found an apartment for me and financially helped me out for over a year. In that time, my ex was more than miserable. He tried everything under the sun to get me back. I do have to say he tried to be the best father he could be, always showing up to see her, helping me with child support, buying her gifts, etc. But I didn't care. He cheated, so I only tolerated him as my daughter's father. After a year of that, my ex completely changed his life. He left his old friend group, got into therapy and took more responsibility for our daughter and at work. He started paying me more child support, tried to see her at least 3 times a week, often took her on weekend trips and stuff, and was a very present father. I could tell how much he changed. My family, especially my father, openly hated him since they knew what happened. That didn't stop him from always sending his best wishes for birthday or other holidays, buying my mom her favorite flowers or my dad a bottle of rum and stuff like that. My parents never acknowledged that or liked him, he just wanted to do it because he wanted to. Before everything went down, we would often do things together with my aunt and uncle. I grew up being extremely close to my aunt, and when my uncle came into my life it only got better. My ex does not have any family living close by and the family he still has isn't great. My aunt and uncle were like family for him as well. When they told him they didn't want anything to do with him anymore, I could tell it was one of the worst things that could have happened. Still, he kept his distance but tried to be kind by again sending wishes for holidays and stuff like that. Fast forward to the weekend, Saturday. Our daughter was invited to a birthday party, and when it was time for pickup, my ex came around as well because he forgot to give her her school bag when he dropped her off at the birthday. We talked a bit about our daughter and with some other parents who came by for pickup. It ended up in my ex coming back over to our place because there were some things we needed to discuss about our daughter's school, specifically about a teacher. Not to get into too much detail here, but that's the reason why he came over. He brought our daughter to bed, she insisted, since he's usually not at our house, and I watched him. He really was so good with her. Afterwards we talked in the living room and maybe had a bottle of wine. The conversation was purely about our daughter, nothing else. Towards the ending he started to cry. I was completely perplexed. He told me that he still loved me, always did, and that he misses me so much it hurts. I couldn't really respond and just asked him to leave. He texted me on Monday morning, apologizing profusely for his behavior and pleading with me not to take our daughter away from him. I just texted him back that I didn't intend on doing that, and that it was probably just the wine talking. I know it sure as hell wasn't. But he just thanked me for not being mad or doing anything about our daughter. It bugged me. It bugged me so much because his words didn't leave my mind. I needed to talk to him about it in person, so I drove by his place. I know he's always in therapy every single week on Thursday afternoon. I have to drive past the building where the therapist is located to go to his house, and I saw his car parked in front. I assume he had an emergency session. I went back home, continued my work, and didn't contact him any further. A few days later, when he came back for pickup, I asked him if we could talk about what happened in private for a moment. I asked him if he still loved me. He said yes. I just nodded and he left with our daughter. I think I still love him. Or love him again. I don't know. He's changed, I can tell. He's not the same man he was all these years ago. He's been so good to me and our daughter for so many years. I don't know what to do now. Update. Hey guys. I'm back with an update and an insane plot twist. First of all, thanks to everyone who reached out, offered support and gave me their feedback. So, yesterday my ex dropped our daughter off at my place at around 9 a.m. We live in Germany and May 1st is a holiday here, Labor Day, which is why school, work, etc. doesn't happen. I asked him if he had any plans for the day, just casual small talk, and he told me he wanted to build a new shelf for our daughter in her room and fix a couple other things in his apartment, so nothing special. He did ask me if it was possible that maybe at the next drop-off, for example, we could talk for a moment, because there's something he'd like to discuss with me. I said yes. The original plan was that my parents, our daughter, and I spend the day together. My parents are divorced but friends, and since they both work a lot, we wanted to spend a day together. At 10 a.m. I get a call from my father. He's nervous. I ask him what's going on. Guess? What? Him and my mom are stuck at my father's vacation home. I asked him what he means by that. Why would he be there with my mom? My parents have an affair? I don't know. They're both single, by the way. There's no infidelity here. I still don't know what exactly is going on between them. I was shocked, confused, even a bit upset. Not that I care, I mean I love them both, I was just unbelievably confused as to why they're seeing each other without telling anyone. I asked him since when? Does anyone know? He refused to answer any questions, at least over the phone, but apologized profusely and told me that they'd make it up to my daughter and I and that we'll spend a day together soon. By the way, the reason why they are stuck is because the house has catastrophic water damage. They spent 2 days there, my mom can work remotely and my dad took the time off and only did calls that were already scheduled and wanted to take the first train in the morning back. My daughter was extremely upset. She cried and I decided to call my ex and ask if he would like to come over to spend the day together. I had some things planned, movies, games, dance party, etc. He hesitated but ultimately agreed. He came over and I won't lie, it was awkward at first. Our daughter loved it, having us both together and eating nothing but junk food and doing her favorite things. After a while she fell asleep when we watched Moana together and he asked me if I invited him over because I felt obligated to after his confession and if he made me uncomfortable. I told him no. I was honest, I told him that I wasn't sure how to handle his confession and then I started to cry. I told him that I wasn't sure about my feelings but the betrayal was still an issue for me and I want to protect our daughter. He apologized profusely for making me feel uncomfortable and asked if he should leave. I said no. We then spoke about what he wanted to talk to me about. He told me that he was looking for an apartment that is closer to my house. For context, we do obviously live in the same city, but our city is pretty big and our distance is still around 40-ish minutes with the car. Our daughter's school is close by to my house and so is my workplace. I mostly work from home and go to the office maybe once a week. My ex's workplace is funny enough also in my district, although he as well is able to work remotely from home from time to time. So is his therapist. The only reason why he still lives in his district is because the apartment he lives in is inherited by his grandfather, who sadly passed away many years ago. As mentioned in my previous post, his family doesn't live nearby and the remaining family he has contact to is a bunch of a-holes. He was only very close with his grandfather, his grandmother passed away a lot earlier. We both make a very good amount of money. He told me that he couldn't sell his apartment for obvious reasons but was thinking about renting it out and moving closer. For his work, therapy, and also most importantly for our daughter. It's always very time and gas consuming to come by and pick her up and drop her off. I rarely pick her up from his place, he mostly insists on doing that so I can spare my time. He told me the apartment complex where he was looking into and the complex is amazing. Super pet, although neither of us have one, and child-friendly, super safe and secure, amazing community garden plus every apartment has their own little garden as well. Super clean and overall really great. He told me he wouldn't move there unless I am okay with it. The complex is less than 10 minutes away from my house. I asked him why he thought I'd have an issue with it. And he said first he dropped the love bomb on me and now he wants to move closer. I told him that the move makes total sense for many reasons, especially for your daughter. And for the other part. I understand where he comes from. He kept on apologizing for it and asked me to please forget about it. He said it's not that it's not true but he's genuinely scared this will negatively affect our relationship in a way. I asked him if I could join one of his therapy sessions. I did not mention us getting back together but also for our daughter and because we needed to talk about a lot of things and I wanted a therapist present. I think we need to talk about so much. Like, literally so much. He told me he'll ask his therapist and schedule an appointment for us next week when he has his session. He left after the movie, and everything's okay. I will update once we had our session, I guess it will happen in a couple of weeks. Now, before ending this update, I'd like to answer a few questions I got privately and in the comments. My ex and I both have a master's degree, in different fields though. Someone asked me if I would have left him without my father's financial support. The answer is yes. I already had my bachelor's degree when our daughter was born. I simply wouldn't have made my master's and probably would have moved into a super shitty one-bedroom apartment and would have worked my ass off day and night to support us. My absolute biggest respect to those who had to go through that because they had no support. I know very much how privileged I am. No, I don't want a second child. As for my ex, we did not specifically talked about this, but I am pretty sure he wouldn't want another one either. No, my ex hasn't been in a new relationship since our breakup. I've been on a few dates between the ages of 25 to 27 but my daughter never met anyone and I, obviously, didn't find my prince charming and there wasn't a second date, only with one guy but after the third date we called it quits. I went out with 4 guys in that time. No, I never hooked up with them. I genuinely wanted to get to know them. We are not friends. We are civil with each other for our daughter's sake. He was never disrespectful to me in any kind of way since our breakup. Someone asked how we handle birthdays, holidays, etc. We celebrate differently. Me with my family and he either alone or with his relatives. The only time where he met my family for an event again was for our daughter's school enrollment. He does not love bomb me. I'm not sure if that's what some people took out from my post. He buys me a gift and flowers for my birthday, Christmas, and Mother's Day every year. I don't do the same for him and he never expected that. I do make a card together with my daughter for his birthday every year though. Otherwise he does not do that. I am not a materialistic person and I 1. Don't like it I can buy myself things and 2. He knows me well enough that this doesn't change anything. His presents are never overly lavish or anything but rather thoughtful. I prefer that anyway. And lastly, yes, I do believe that he is genuine with his words. He never tried to make a move on me before in a way that was overstepping or anything. He's really trying to be the best father he can and he tries to support me a lot, FX. By doing all of the pick up and drop off for example. Again, after his confession, he apologized, stepped back and was hesitant and first when I invited him over, I truly believe he did that because he thought I did that because of the confession. I'm unsure of the therapy session but I am hopeful that at least we'll be able to become even better co-parents for our daughter. You guys can bet your ass, respectfully, that I will also update you on my parents. I guess our therapy session will happen in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Have a wonderful day.